Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. And we got some crazy warm weather for the 11th of January. So once it crosses 60 degrees, you guys know old Harvey has to go to a flea market. Given that there are no flea markets happening by me, and a lot of them appear to be closing, I ran across a guy who's into scrapping. And he gets all kinds of interesting stuff. And what you're looking at, as I pan backwards and at that and in here, you're looking at a $70 purchase. So what did I get for the 70 bucks? The first thing I got, this is 12 pounds worth of copper Busbar. And you may ask, what do I need this for? This makes some great intake manifolds. It's thick enough, looks like a 1/4 inch, if not a little more, 5/16. What I could do is cut this, turn it into a manifold, drill, and countersink the holes to bolt it up against the engine, and then I could solder to it for anything else I want, for any carburetor I want to mount to any manifold. So that's, I mean, I don't know, what's 12, 13 pounds worth of copper worth right there. I think that would be considered number one. 12 pounds, a couple of bucks a pound. I mean, you're looking at close to 25 bucks just for the copper. I also got, these are fire alarm bells, 120 volts. I thought the light was interesting. Right, looks like it hung from here and would swing. I don't know if it's naval or off the back of a truck or something, just an outlet. These, I wanted the sockets, and I'll show you what I want those for. This is out of a cop car or fire truck for turning the lights on, and you can see the fuse pack in the back plus the wires. This thing here, triangular thing, it was for weights, so you could put weights on it. I figured that when I looked at that, the band metal, the triangles, the way the feet are set up there and all, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted it, but it had my mind humming, so I kind of threw it on the pile. And that's kind of the way it works with Mike. I set up a big pile of stuff, and he gives me a price for it. These are Harley exhaust pipes. Once again, I thought they're interesting. They got the, I don't know, what do you guys call that end? So, I got a pair of those. This is for running outdoor lights, you know, those 24-volt models. Obviously, that's part of a fan. This rack goes to all-terrain vehicle, motorcycle, whatever. I figured I'd throw that on. Picked up all this threaded rod with the bolts. 3, 6, there's 9 of them. That one isn't completely threaded, but all the other 8 are. This is stainless steel pipe, right? It is meant for gas heating. And why did I want a piece of crushed stainless steel pipe? I have some plans in my mind, and if hopefully I live to 100 years old and I get to do something with the plans, but for some heating systems, and whenever you could get stainless steel exhaust pipe along with bends and all, you just go for it, especially if you're paying scrap price for it. And lastly, this is the rack that you would hang a bicycle on the back of a car with. And I kind of threw that in because, once again, I was basically paying metal price. Next comes this thing. It's stainless steel. It's got wheels on it that go in all directions. It's older. And I don't know if it's perhaps out of a hospital and it was a hamper, or for grain. like courses to keep the mice and rats out of the grain. I'm not sure what it was for, but I just looked at it and I said, God, you know, for scrap value, I can't pass that up. I need it for something. This is a stainless steel umbrella rack. And once again, not quite sure why I needed it, but stainless steel, so I put it on the pile. This is some kind of power supply. Once again, he gets all this stuff. Something for a pool. I'm not quite sure what's in here, but I thought it was well worth the money. And lastly, I have a pair of these, and they're mirror images of each other. I'm not quite sure what they are, but they almost look like a fender for something. I mean, just picture how much work it was to create these. Right, the way they scallop that. So anyway, this whole pile was $70. And I'm sure some of you are going to say, oh God, Harvey, what the heck is wrong with you? But, you know, between the copper and the lights and the rack and the bolts, you know, I think I did pretty good for the quick $70. On my way home, I went up to P&T Surplus, and I picked up this file cabinet, and it's one of the better ones. It's not a if you get them at like Office Depot or any of those type places, if somebody my size attempted to stand on it, the cabinet would fold up like a cardboard box, and I'd be instantly damaged. Where this one is hefty enough where you can actually do something with. What I'd like to do is get myself organized to the point where I put my cordless tools in something like this. Unfortunately, the bottom is opened, so if you sit it directly down on a flat floor, mice cannot get into it. But if you put it up a little bit, you know, wood under it or something, then the mice could kind of go under and into it. So from that point of view, it wouldn't be mouse tight once again, unless it's tied up against the floor. It did come with the key. Appears as if the wrong key. There you go. There you are. So the key, and this was a freebie. Gotta love the freebies. And lastly, and I got this from P&T Surplus. You guys know that I'm a big fan of the small light bulb, you know, Thomas Edison and all that great stuff. Well, I picked up between these 4 white boxes, there are 100 of these light bulbs, right? 24 volts, 5 watts, 25. Clear, made in China, Midway brand. And this is what the light bulb looks like. And a lot of times when you'll go into a restaurant, or if you're at a cafe with the outdoor eating or something, there'll be these kind of strung up there. What I like to use these things for is I like to put them in series when I'm charging a battery. That'll guarantee that should for some reason the battery short out, the most power I'm putting into it is 5 watts, and for a 12-volt battery that's only about a half an amp, right? A little less than a half an amp. And that's if the battery's a dead short and all the power is going through the light bulb. So I like that. That's what I like to do with them. I figure with 100 of these, I don't need to buy them anymore. And with all these sockets, right, I can mix and match and cut and paste. The way they got these wired though, I'm not exactly sure if they have it set up in series and then parallel and series and parallel. It doesn't look like there's enough wire to do that at all. So these are either all in series, which means you got to put a huge potential on it to get it to light all these up, or they're all in parallel. Well, they're all in parallel, which means you got to put a load of current through them to get all these to light up, right? There's almost 100 sockets here, 96 that I guesstimated, right, at 5 watts each, right, 500 watts. But they have 110 volts going into it. So I have the feeling these sockets, though the bulbs fit into them beautifully, are not meant for these lamps, but I could still cut them up and do what I wish with them. So this is, when you're jonesing for a flea market, and there aren't any. They closed the one in Fishkill. I'm told they opened one in Middletown, right? The one out in Connecticut, Elephant's Trunk, I'm told they sold that land. Anyway, it's closed for the winter, and it might be closed permanently. Stormville isn't opening again until April. So, in the meantime, I really don't have any flea markets to go to satisfy my, my hunt and, my hunting thrill. So, I kind of had to make other arrangements. Mike gets a lot of this stuff through his travels. And once again, he just sorts it. Like, this was obviously in his copper pile. The thing for the weights was just in his metal pile, along with the stainless steel. And these were put aside. The Harley stuff was put aside. He was going to eBay them, but I kind of jumped on it. He was going to eBay this. By the way, I think that's plastic. But I kind of, grabbed it. That was just in metal scrap. That was in metal scrap, right? The belts were in metal scrap. This was in metal scrap. Same with the power supply. So, if I go in and give him more than scrap value, he's happy. And I'm happy because now I have all kinds of bits and pieces for putting projects together. Imagine these upright, perhaps with clapper exhaust on them. Cut it across, and then put those clapper exhaust like that's on a diesel. So anyhow, just some stuff I managed to get my hot little hands on. Some of you guys enjoy the flea market videos, and some of you do not. Anyway, I hope everyone who watched this to the end enjoyed it. And I want to thank you all for watching my videos, for subscribing to my channel. Please keep your feet down, your heads up, and I want you all to get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.